Stop everything right now. 3 U.S. coins hiding in plain sight have sold for big money and life-changing value. The 1969 double die quarter, the 1976 bicentennial quarter silver error, and the 1980 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar mistake. Hidden treasure is real. Check your coins. Subscribe before the next shock drops. Today we are talking about the 1976 D bicentennial quarter dollar. This coin looks common. It feels common. That is exactly why it is dangerous to ignore. Because hidden inside everyday change is real hidden treasure, and many people never even look. Back in 1976, the United States celebrated 200 years of independence. For the first time ever, the U.S. Mint changed the design of the quarter. Instead of the eagle, they used a drummer boy. The date was also special. It did not show just 1 year. It showed 2 dates together, 1776 to 1976. That alone makes this coin different from every other quarter. Millions of Americans saved these coins. Billions were made. Most people thought they would all be valuable one day. But years passed, and prices stayed low. People lost interest. Coins went back into circulation. And that is when the real story began. Because while most bicentennial quarters are common, some were made wrong. Some were struck on the wrong metal. Some were struck twice. Some were not centered. And some came out so perfect that collectors now fight over them at auctions. First, let's talk about how to identify the coin. Look at the front. You will see George Washington. Look near his ponytail. If you see a small letter D, that means it was made at the Denver Mint. The back shows a drummer boy holding a drum, with a torch and stars. The date on the front must read 1776 to 1976. If it does not, it is not the right coin. Now here is where things get exciting. Most 1976 D quarters are made of copper and nickel. You can see a brown copper line on the edge. But some were struck on silver by mistake. They were never supposed to exist. These silver errors slipped out quietly. To check this, look at the edge. If there is no copper line and the edge looks solid silver, pay attention. Hold it in your hand. It may feel slightly heavier. Drop it gently on a table. Silver makes a clear ringing sound. Copper does not. These silver bicentennial quarters are big money. Even in worn condition, they can sell for hundreds of dollars. In nice condition, they sell for over $1,000. Some graded examples have sold for several thousand at auction. That is life-changing value from one coin. Now let's talk about double dies. This is when the design was stamped twice, slightly off. It creates a shadow or doubling effect. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Look at the drummer boy's hands and drumsticks. If you see clear doubling, not just blur, that is a real error. Real double die 1976 D quarters have sold for $500, $1,000, and more. Strong examples in great shape have reached over $5,000 at auction. Collectors love these errors because they are easy to see and very hard to find. Next are off-center strikes. These coins were not lined up right when struck. Part of the design is missing. Some people think these coins are damaged. They are not. They are mint errors. If the date is still visible and the coin is clearly off-center, value jumps fast. Small off-center errors can sell for a few $100s. Large off-center errors with the full date can sell for $2,000 or more. That is big money for a quarter. Now here is a shock many people do not know. Even a normal 1976 D bicentennial quarter with no errors can be valuable. The key is condition. Most of these coins were used. They have scratches, marks, and wear. But a few survived in perfect shape. Coins are graded on a scale. High grades like MS-67 or MS-68 are extremely rare for this coin. One 1976 D-quarter graded MS-68 sold for over $6,000. Same coin. Same year. No errors. Just perfect condition. This is why collectors say do not clean your coins. Cleaning destroys value. A cleaned coin is almost worthless to serious buyers. Always leave the coin as it is. So why are prices rising now? Because collectors are aging. Nostalgia is strong. People remember 1976. Error coins are being locked away. High-grade coins are almost gone. Once they disappear into collections, they rarely come back. That is why checking your change matters. That is why you should never spend bicentennial quarters without looking. One good find can change everything. Think about how many quarters you have touched in your life. How many you spent without looking. How many 1976 D coins passed through your hands. The next one could be hidden treasure. Look at the edge. Look at the letters. Look at the strike. Take your time. Big money does not shout. It hides. In the next video, we will talk about a rare bicentennial quarter error so strange that many collectors still argue about it. But the auction price ended the argument. So check your coins today. Do not spend them. Share this with someone who saves change. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because the next coin we talk about could be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to change your life. Most people remember the Susan B. Anthony dollar as a failed coin. It was small. It looked like a quarter. People did not like it. Stores rejected it. Vending machines jammed. And within a few years, the coin almost disappeared from daily life. That failure is exactly what makes it dangerous to ignore today. The year 1980 is special. By then, demand for the Anthony dollar was already collapsing. The U.S. Mint slowed production. Fewer coins were made. And at the San Francisco Mint, something even stranger happened. Coins were struck in ways they were never meant to be. Some were proofs. Some were business strikes. Some were hybrids. And some slipped out quietly into the world. Let's slow down and make sure you know exactly what coin we are talking about. The Susan B. Anthony $1 coin shows Susan B. Anthony on the front. On the back, you will see an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo space missions. Look at the date. It must say 1980. Now look for the mint mark. You will find it near Susan's shoulder. If you see an S, that means San Francisco. That S is where the story begins. Most 1980 S coins were made as proof coins. Proof coins are shiny, mirror-like, and sold to collectors. But here is the shocking fact. Some 1980 S Anthony dollars were struck as business strikes instead of proofs. They were never meant to exist. And collectors pay big money for them today. Here is how to tell the difference. Proof coins have deep mirror fields and frosted details. Business strikes look more normal. They do not have mirror surfaces. If you have a 1980 S coin that looks dull or satin instead of mirror-like, your heart should start beating faster. These 1980 S business strike Anthony dollars are rare. Very rare. In high condition, they have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. One graded example sold for over $3,000 at auction. That is life-changing value for a coin most people ignore. Now let me reset your attention with another shock. Some 1980 S proof coins were struck using the wrong finish. These are called Type 2 proofs. The S mint mark looks clearer and more defined compared to the older blurry S. Collectors chase this detail hard. If you have a Type 2 proof, value jumps fast. Even in average proof condition, these can sell for $100 to $300. In top condition, prices climb higher. And yes, people have spent them without knowing. But we are not done. Because the rim of the Anthony dollar hides another secret. Look closely at the edge. The coin should have a smooth edge with clear lettering detail around the rim. Some 1980s coins show weak strikes, missing detail, or unusual rim thickness. These are mint errors. Off-center strikes exist for this coin. So do partial collar errors, where the rim looks squeezed or uneven. These errors are not damage. They happened at the mint. Depending on how strong the error is, values range from $200 to over $1,000. Big money for a forgotten dollar. Now here comes a story that shocked the collecting world. A collector found a 1980s Anthony dollar that looked normal at first glance. But under magnification, it showed doubled letters. Liberty was doubled. In God We Trust showed doubling. This was a double die error. That coin sold for over $1,500. Not because it was pretty, but because it should not exist. Errors like this are hidden treasure, and once collectors confirm them, prices jump fast. Another shock most people miss is condition rarity. Even normal 1980s proof coins can be valuable if they are perfect. Coins graded PR 70, meaning flawless, sell for hundreds of dollars. The difference between $20 and $500 can be one tiny scratch. That is why cleaning coins is a mistake. Never clean them. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Collectors want original surfaces, even if the coin looks dull. So why is this coin rising in value now? Because collectors from the 1980s and 1990s are older now. They want the coins they remember. Supplies are locked away. And error coins are disappearing into private collections. When that happens, prices rise. This is why I say check your drawers. Check old proof sets. Check boxes from estate sales. Check every Susan B. Anthony dollar carefully. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Look at the shine. Look at the rim. Look for anything that feels wrong. Big money does not always look exciting. Sometimes it looks boring. Sometimes it looks like a coin everyone hated. That is how hidden treasure survives. Think about this for a moment. How many dollar coins have you ignored in your life? How many were tossed aside because people said they were worthless? The 1980s Anthony dollar proves that one mistake can cost you life-changing value. In the next video, I will show you an Anthony dollar error so rare that most collectors never see one in person. When it sold at auction, jaws dropped. So do not wait. Check your coins today. Do not spend them. Share this with someone who saves coins. Subscribe to OLD Chiller Coin Value and turn on notifications. Because the next coin we talk about could be sitting quietly in your home right now, waiting to change your life. The Washington quarter has been in American pockets since 1932. People trust it. People ignore it. That is exactly why the rare ones survive unnoticed. In 1969, something happened at the U.S. Mint that collectors still talk about today. A quiet mistake slipped through. Not once. Not twice. But enough times to create one of the most famous and valuable quarter errors in history. Back then, coins were made fast. Quality control was not what it is today. Dies were reused. Presses ran non-stop. And one die, just one, created a monster of an error. A coin that would later sell for tens of thousands of dollars. A coin that changed lives. First, let's make sure you know what to look for. Grab a Washington quarter. Look at the front. You should see George Washington. Look at the date. It must say 1969. Now look just below the date. If you see no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. If you see AD, it was made in Denver. If you see an S, your heart should start beating faster. Because the most famous version comes from San Francisco. Turn the coin over. You should see an eagle with spread wings. The color should be silver gray on the outside, with a copper line visible on the edge. If the edge looks fully silver, that is already a warning sign of hidden treasure. Now here is where the story gets shocking. The 1969 Washington quarter has a rare double die obverse. This is not wear. This is not damage. This is a real mint error created when the die was impressed twice at different angles. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust." On the rare coin, you will see clear doubling. Strong, bold doubling. Look at Liberty. The letters look thick, almost shadowed. Look at the date. The numbers show doubling too. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This coin is one of the most wanted Washington quarter errors ever made. And the prices prove it. One genuine 1969 double die quarter sold for over $35,000 at auction. Another sold for more than $25,000. Even worn examples can bring thousands. That is big money from one coin. And here is the scary part. Fakes exist. Many people try to create this error by altering normal coins. That is why real examples are so valuable. Real ones have strong, even doubling. Not flat. Not blurry. Real doubling looks raised and sharp. Now let me reset your attention, because that is not the only valuable 1969 quarter. Some 1969 quarters were struck on the wrong metal. This is rare, but it happens. A few were struck on silver planchets meant for older quarters. To check this, look at the edge. Normal 1969 quarters have a visible copper stripe. If the edge looks solid silver and the coin feels heavier, stop. Do not clean it. Do not spend it. Silver errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Another shock comes from off-center strikes. Some 1969 quarters were not lined up correctly when struck. The design is pushed to one side. Part of the coin is blank. If the date is still visible, value jumps quickly. Small off-center errors can sell for $200 to $500. Large ones with a full date can sell for over $1,500. Collectors love errors because they are unique. No two are exactly the same. That makes them hidden treasure. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where many people lose big money without knowing it. A normal 1969 quarter with heavy wear is worth face value. But one in perfect condition is a different story. Coins are graded on a scale. High grades like MS-67 or MS-68 are very rare for circulation coins from this year. One high-grade 1969 quarter with no errors sold for over $2,000 simply because it survived untouched. Same coin. Same year. Different condition. Life-changing value for the careful collector. Never clean your coins. Cleaning destroys value instantly. A cleaned coin can drop from thousands to almost nothing. Collectors want original surfaces, even if the coin looks dull. So why are these coins getting more valuable now? Because collectors are older. Demand is strong. Supplies are limited. And the famous 1969 double die quarter is locked away in collections. Every time one disappears, prices climb. Think about how many quarters you have handled in your life. Think about how many you spent without looking. How many 1969 quarters passed through your hands? How many chances did you miss at hidden treasure? Big money does not always look exciting. Sometimes it looks boring. Sometimes it looks like loose change. That is why people miss it. This is not just about coins. This is about paying attention. About slowing down. About knowing that life-changing value can hide in the smallest places. In the next video, I will reveal another Washington quarter error that shocked collectors and sold for a record price most people still do not believe. When you see it, you will never look at your change the same way again. So check your coins tonight. Look at the dates. Look at the mint marks. Look at the letters. Do not spend what could be big money. Subscribe to OLD Chiller Coin Value and turn on notifications. Because the next coin we talk about could be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to change your life.